Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. This is 7 o'clock. The town of Ron acknowledges the Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis. We pay our respect to the First Nations and we meet the ancestors of this place and we confirm our relationship with one another. We'll move on to the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda?
I'll move to adopt.
Okay, moved by Clausen, second.
Second.
All in favor? Motion is carried. We'll move to minutes of January 10th meeting. Any errors or omissions?
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Moved by Bashar, second by Lettery. Those in favor? Okay, motion is carried. Minutes of the special meeting on the 16th.
Move to approve.
Second by Lettery. All in favor? Motion carried. We go to business. Request for decisions for disposal of records. Any questions on that? Pretty straightforward. This is standard practice, I guess. So, motion to approve.
I'm not loading.
Yeah, it's loading up.
Yeah, it's a little, I'm getting stuff.
I'll move that council proceed with option A, approve all documents identified in the destruction documents listing.
Okay, moved by Clausen, second by
I second.
second by Hunt. All in favor? Motion carried. Okay, we move to staff events. Request for decision on listed events. I think
Still loading.
Yeah, well, the internet went crazy slow all of a sudden.
I wonder why.
11 devices.
Should keep up.
I
It
think it's
usually does.
important to
Hockey TV.
Yeah, we just switched to hockey TV.
Movies.
yeah, I think it's important to support our staff, and I think the
Mhm.
retreat is a good morale booster and chance to get together and celebrate. So,
I'll move that council proceed with option A to approve the staff retreat as proposed and the closure of non-essential town services for the 3 events proposed.
okay.
I second.
Second by Councillor Hunt.
Does the staff have a presentation for us?
Information's there, but would you like some more?
No, I'm just teasing.
She's your chairperson of the committee.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
The staff look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Just one question about that. Excuse me, we talking about that going on the lake and having something on the beach someplace with everybody with the kids and boats and that kind of a.
Yeah, we did all the staff last summer, just the staff did that. The wellness committee this year has planned a couple different events, so one's kind of a winter one, just, ice fishing or whatever, and then another one's more in the summer, similar to what we did last year, planning like a family potluck, kind of, and extending it to council, got the Christmas party, and just lots of other fun activities and things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, the request for decision on the bulk fuel provider services. We have a recommendation here from administration. Any questions on that? Comments?
I'll move that council proceed with option A, that the 2023 bulk fuel services RFQ for the period of March 1st, 2023 to February 29th of 2024 be awarded to Millsap Fuel Distributors Limited for an amount of $156.88 per liter for diesel fuel and $132.35 per liter for regular gasoline, including applicable taxes.
Is there a seconder to that motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councillor Bashar. Call the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item is the tax enforcement. Property is listed. It's,
I'll move the council proceed with option A to authorize tax service to proceed under Tax Enforcement Act to acquire title to lot 18, block 11, plan 65 PA 06035, extension 2, title 127485412 in the name of the municipality.
I'll second that.
call the question, all those in favor? Motion carried. Okay, we move to community grants to community groups for first intake.
Just, I don't know how you wanna do this, Mayor, but I did put together some numbers, and I don't know if we all just wanna throw out numbers or something. I kinda looked at everything a bit. I did have to pull away, I decided, from some, and so I'd like to give NAR 5,000, Churchill 3,500, the Peanut Production 750, the Sun Theater Corp 3,500, the Naptak Ramble 6,500, and the Writers Guild 750, which puts us right on the 21,000 mark, which is loud.
Can you pop those in there just for purposes of taking a peek?
Yes, please. Can you,
Discussion?
Yeah, 5,000 for NAR,
Allison, I can do it.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, 5,000 from our keep going.
Okay.
3,500 for Churchill, 750 for Peanut, Some Theater 3,500, Naptak Ramble 6,500, and the Writers Guild 750. I do wish I could have granted all of them the full amounts, but I worked it across the board and was trying to be as fair as possible with all of them.
No, that Sun Theater one, will they come up for the lesser amount, because it's not gonna cover their expenses?
I had a conversation with them earlier today about that, and they mentioned that if they weren't granted the full amount, then they would have to look for some private grants. We typically don't ask that question to groups, you know, what is your threshold for partial funding? So may or may not be able to come up, I would say, but what they shared with me was they would have to look into some other private grants that they may be eligible for, and they said that it has been challenging this year to find those grants. So it doesn't say one way or another, but it's important to note that if they chose not to come up because what we were offering them did not satisfy, then they wouldn't be fulfilling the
I
grant.
shared the same feeling, Matt, you know, because it was great having them up last year in the Morley Wilson Park. Especially the residents there got to experience a theater, but
I do also want to note that we outlined in the report for Churchill Community High School. Typically, the schools are not eligible for funding in this grant. We've included it here because there would be some parts of their program that community members at art students would be able to participate in, and so they could still go meet the dog sledders, ride snowmobiles alongside the dog sled teams, eat some of the food, potentially have a hand in preparing some of the traditional foods that they would as part of that program. But general community members would not have the opportunity to go on dog sleds. That was the intent last year, and we funded it for that reason, to try and give everyone the opportunity, but with the timelines and getting everyone organized and onto sleds, the students were prioritized and community members did not have that opportunity. So they've been open that likely that would be the same this year.
But they're still welcome to go there and enjoy all the traditional
Absolutely,
food.
yeah, there are
and
things
park.
happening that they could participate in, but it wouldn't be dog sledding.
Councilor Bashar?
Yeah, so when I was kind of reading through and that kind of stuff, Churchill, I'm not 100% sure on, because this being kind of a student-focused activity, there is quite a bit of opportunity to get funding through NLSD and provincial partners and things like that. From what I understand, maybe I'm mistaken, but because it's not open to all community members, even just for a fee, that kind of thing, I think there's less general utility when it comes to the benefit to the community and where I'd like to see dollars go. I would actually like to, based on your numbers, actually go more and give Some Theater the full request. It was 5,000 they were requesting, yeah. So because that is a free event, it's held in our park, it activates a space, and the feedback that I heard from last year was stellar. Like they really did a great job out there. So having that event come back, it has the opportunity to be even bigger and better. So I think, and for the fact that that's hitting a lot of really great points of what it's bringing and where it's coming from. So I would like to see them get the full request. The Peanut Productions and Writers Group, 100%. I'm there for what they're requesting, which is a pretty nominal sum for bringing theater and writing and the event that it's their 30th, so like 30th anniversary, which is great. So that's a really lovely thing. So I'd actually like to see money redistributed from Churchill event into some theater if we're kind of weighing against each other or looking to distribute money.
So you're comfortable with like 2,000 on Churchill and putting that 1,500 onto the sub theater?
I think so.
Which would look like that.
If we decide to give, you know, like we don't have to.
We don't have to stay within the 21,000 either. We can go
No,
above,
and
right?
we can go below.
And we can go above.
We can go below. So that's the thing is like I have particular ones, and I think I've communicated that which ones I'm very much in support of. The other ones I am open to.
How many years in a row have we gave money to Napatak Ramble? It's been quite a few.
3, I think.
3, I was gonna say 3 too, yeah.
I know we did last year, and we have this year as well. I would have to look back on what we did previous to that.
Their application does include not only like an open and public portion of the Ramble event itself, but they're also proposing to have an event again in Patterson, a free event for the community,
Yeah, Art in the Park.
Art in the Park, which
Okay.
to me I think is a
Pretty
very
good.
valuable thing to be
Very
bringing, and it brings the Ramble in and it connects.
Well, if, you know, if that's the case, I'm
Yeah.
more in support of it than if it's just out in Napatak.
Potato now, actually.
I like to make sure we don't go any lower with Churchill High School there. When you take a look at the big picture there could be as many as 600 kids riding the dog sleds there. And if you take a look at if every kid brings one parent down there, let's say, you know, you could say 2 parents, there's going to be a lot of activity in the park that day. And there's a lot of kids that I know are pretty excited about getting on a dog sled. And as a parent or a grandparent, I mean, I'd like to see that. You know, I don't know if I'm making any sense or not, but you know, the more the merrier that we get in that park that particular day. I mean, I'm fine with the 2,000 if we can distribute it, but let's don't go any lower in them. If we fill the park up for that day or 2 days that they're going to have it, outstanding.
Councilor Frederick?
And just so you know, Terry, because I know this is your first time going through this, or I should say Councilor, huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
We can go over that threshold, we just won't have as much to give the next intake, right, if we wanted to, so
Right,
keep that
okay.
in mind,
Yeah.
if you have a recommendation.
2 quick points. One, we are working through a process of hiring a programmer, so there's a lot of opportunity there. Looking at our next intake, that might be the programmer may be able to do more with community groups that want to do things. So that's going to be interesting when we look ahead to the next intake. But on the Churchill side of things, if we were to say we're limited in funding, we don't want to really go past the halfway point of what we have to offer for each intake. And from a monetary standpoint, we're kind of deciding to distribute like this way, for example, is if we want to offer in-kind support in certain ways, is that considered in a monetary amount, or is that something that we can do besides the grants? So if Churchill was to receive some in-kind support from parks staff or public works or whatever, that would preclude them from having to spend certain monies elsewhere. Would that kind of thing be possible, to be able to say we support you, we just can't put as much monetary support?
Yeah, there's always the opportunity for in-kind support. I don't know specifically what they would be looking for this program, so I couldn't speak to that tonight. But yeah, we try to support programs using our spaces as best as we can.
Okay.
So the column on the right, we're at 20,000 right now. And our target is,
I'm
21.
happy to answer any questions.
I think our target's 21, isn't it?
21 is half of
Yeah.
what's available throughout the year.
I mean, well, the council would be probably in a better position than myself to say, you know, how many more applications you might get at the midpoint than the early intake. I don't have the history.
Well, and we did, sorry to interrupt, but we did change the dates as well, for the intake periods, and so, when we do look back on how much we have funded and how many groups have applied, we do see it trending upward at this point, so we're getting more applications. What that will mean for July, I couldn't say tonight, but potentially more, potentially less.
Further to Councillor Hunt's comments, I'd much rather see money put somewhere that's gonna be directly in this community, right in the public eye, instead of at another community outside of town. And I would much rather see that money allocated to Napatak go towards the Churchill initiative and talk that up to their fullest. I'm not in favor of putting money outside of this community.
But the Ramble is proposing to have a large event in the park here.
That may
I
be.
think it'd still be successful. We lowered it down to 5 and added the 15 onto the school, Churchill program. At minimum, anyway.
Look like this.
One thing council may wish to consider, if that's viewed as more of a tri-community event, is looking at our contribution on a per capita, much like we do with some of our other partner initiatives. So if it was the 30% or thereabouts that our population is a portion of, that might be one way to look at their grant ask. But I'm not sure how much, if any, they're asking from the other partners in that tri-community area. Connor, do you have any other information on that?
For if the Ramble is being funded by other groups.
Like the village and the band?
Just a moment.
In their budget, it says grants from Air Orange.
Sorry, there's an Air Orange grant,
1,500.
1,500. And
So based on
nothing,
1,500, if we're double the population, then we'd be about 3,000.
and nothing from the band is listed on their budget summary.
Would 3,000, we're at 3,500 right now, we'd be dropping it a little bit,
Well,
pretty close.
the specific event that the Ramble is proposing to have again is a one-day event, art in the park, outdoor market, and have the art market in the Patterson Park during the day and then host an outdoor concert in the evening. And it's a free of charge concert. So I would like to throw all the support behind that particular event. And also they're very inclusive of children and families, and they're very family friendly. So I'd personally like to see more go to that group.
The Ramble is looking to put on a 3-day kids camp this year, which is something that they haven't done in the past, and the funds that we would allocate to them would be used for that purpose, as well as supporting Indigenous performers. So not just a one day event here at the park and one night of a concert, there would also be a kids camp, which
Okay. And that's free for children to attend?
I believe there's a nominal fee
Okay.
for it.
Would the nominal fee be reduced through receipt of the grant money? Do we know that?
I don't know.
Their application isn't specific where that's gonna go or what it's gonna do.
Like typically it's been like a 1-day event that's been on the same day as the festival, but they're looking to extend it to a 3-day kids camp this year, focusing on land-based exploration opportunities, creating natural play spaces and learning about art and character development.
I've heard nothing but good things about the Ramble. I personally have never been to one, but I heard it's always great. You know, we could top it up. We still have 1,000 left. Put 4,500 into it. You know.
So they have facilitators, and they're doing things like forest exploration and pond and eco exploration, bushcraft and tool skills, and so on and so forth. And they're like pretty long camps, so that's a pretty good like agenda for them to be putting on if that's what we're supporting. And I'd be more than happy to see that. And it looks like the way that they have laid out the budget summary, participant fees are 20% of what they requested for the full 8,000. So they're not asking for a lot of fees.
It's a $10 participant fee.
Yeah.
We gonna go line by line, see what everybody's comfortable with. We start at the top, NAR. We reduced it to 5,000, everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah, I am.
Does that have any effect on our other funding for that same organization?
No, that's over and above.
Is there,
This would be a bonus funding in terms of,
And this
it's a fundraiser that they're hosting to
yeah.
help support the organization, but your service contract with them will be for a stipulated price.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, Churchill?
I'm good with that number 2.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay.
The introductions, that's all we've asked for, so. Sun Theater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I think that's outstanding, eh? I don't know too much about that program there, but
A free show and around in the park. Last year was held at Roy Wilson Park with the intention of having it easily walkable. I think initially we considered Patterson Park, but just with the nature of that neighborhood, it was nice for everyone to be able to walk to it, and so we saw a lot of people show up.
It's right
So
across
it was
from
a
the,
success.
it was right across from the parking building, like the Quarry Park parking building.
Real nice.
It's beautiful.
Okay, that project?
I'm comfortable with that if that's as high as everybody's comfortable going.
I personally, I'd still like to do more on that. Like, I'm the type of, I'd be willing to go over this round if people are comfortable with that.
I would be too.
I'll do that because we don't know what kind of intakes we're gonna get this winter, right? And the time people get out is during the summer when this stuff is happening.
They requested 8,000.
Would everybody be comfortable with Ryan's original number of 6,500?
I'm not. I've had an obscene amount of ratepayers complain about their tax money going to fund something out of the community. Lots of them.
I think it's an event that everybody can enjoy though, honestly. It's
Makes it more accessible, and it's
And if you
also
have
an event
$70
here.
to attend it, not everybody
That's-
can enjoy it.
That's true.
But the
That is
kids'
true.
camp is $10.
That's true.
And
Kids
there's an
camp
event.
also doesn't cost $8,000.
Okay, we got 4,500 on
I wanna
the
propose
books right now.
6,500.
One thing that council's done in the past that might be helpful, this is the one item that there's a disagreement on, is go around with the table with a number and we take the average of the
Yeah, we've done
The
that.
numbers,
That's
that's-
a good idea. Yeah.
agreeable.
What's your number?
Oh.
65 for Abby?
And I know Jordan's
Yes, he is on.
online, so
I'd be comfortable with 8,000, but
Okay.
yeah.
Ryan?
I'm trying.
I'll do 55.
Matt?
0.
0?
55.
55?
Can I change my response if we're doing what we're individually comfortable with? Because I'd be comfortable with all 8, the full 8,000 ask. So.
You're comfortable with 8,000? Ryan at 55, so.
And then there's Jordan too.
Jordan.
Jordan? Here you are, hiding
I'm
out there.
comfortable with the 65.
55?
60.
65?
65.
Okay, you can do the math. 47,000 that way.
Get the calculator
I thought you were looking at me. I was like, no.
355 to 65 and 3,000.
Yeah.
Don't forget to add the 0.
Where was it?
4,500 is where we're at. And I guess that's it. Is what it is.
Someone will have to make a motion on the,
What is that?
as presented.
45? Okay, so we're at 45. Okay, we'll have a motion to approve the numbers on the right-hand column.
Also move.
Okay, moved by Councillor Bashar.
I'll second.
by Councillor Vedri. Those in favour?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Animal Control Services. We have a copy of a proposed agreement.
I move that council proceed with option A to authorize mayor and CAO to execute a 4-year animal control services agreement with Northern Animal Rescue Society commencing January 1st, 2023 for a total amount of $155,250 inclusive of applicable taxes.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Bashar. And open for discussion. Any comments?
I just want to say I love seeing multi-year contracts of things that offer stability to administration and residents coming to council like this that seem to be well thought out, progressing the relationship and mutually benefiting both parties. So
I think it is advantageous rather than every year.
yeah, and it allows the organization to predict
Yeah.
stable funding for future years so that they can actually anticipate and grow and plan. So it's great.
And I think with the enforcement, the benefit of sharing the resources or the funding that comes out of that, I think is an incentive for them to do the enforcement. So I think I'm very pleased with the agreement.
Yeah, for us, that one provision is a new one. It was a solution that was proposed in a way. Yes, there's cost of living and inflationary in this agreement, but one of the things that does, although it's not perfect, is if call volumes go up and their service needs go up, it's a way to give them a little bit more money.
Okay, any more discussion? I call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried. Okay. I guess we're in camera.